We have Nidhi Mathur with us, who is going to read Virgo Woman. Thank you, Nidhi, for doing this with us.
It's a pleasure.
Nidhi, I remember post my book release, I shared the book with you. And I had this discussion with you, and I very conveniently assumed that you are a passive Virgo woman.
Yeah, I remember about that.
And forever I always thought, oh wow, she's so ladylike, she's so amazing, which you are. I must not take that
Well, looks can be
away.
deceptive, and I think Virgos are good at that.
And tell me, I mean, seriously, after reading the Virgo Woman chapter, I remember you giving me your feedback and telling me that maybe 80 to 85% of what you read is what you thought you were, and what I assumed, to be the passive side of you, which you said is just, not necessarily like you said, usme likha hai or you observed that is me. Tell me more about that.
Well, certainly I could completely identify with the book, the character of a Virgo woman in the book, because it was like a mirror of my life, which nobody else around me knows about. But of course, you have been able to come out with it. And again, back home, my mom and I are both Virgos, so she seemed to be the more passive and docile Virgo, and as I told you, looks can be deceptive. So Virgos know how to present themselves well.
Right.
And again, it's situational. The way they would behave or they would relate to a person is completely situational. I mean, I would be different in my workplace and different at home.
Agreed. So when you
different
don a hat,
when I'm conversing with you.
Correct. No, we all have our hats.
Right.
This has been a question that has been thrown at me very, very often. That how can you generalize all Virgos into a certain category, or all certain sun sign into a type? You just said that you felt like it was a mirror. You
Absolutely.
just said that I managed to capture. I'm not trying to look for compliments here. I'm not fetching for that either. But aren't we all product of our emotions and how we behave under certain situations in life?
Definitely.
So how come, when you read Virgo, and which is different from Libra or maybe different from Scorpio, how come you are like the book or the book is like you? I mean, when you say it's a mirror.
I guess it's those personality traits which you've picked up during your observations, when you've observed people and spoken to them, and I guess it's just those personality traits, because I guess most of the Virgos are like that. My cousin is like, almost like me.
Okay.
And the perfectionist part is what I've observed in a lot of people who I've met, not just in our country, even abroad.
Right.
And the moment you see that spick and span pruned garden, you ask the person, are you a Virgo?
Yeah.
And you get the reply, yes. So
I've
you know that.
yet to be invited to Nidhi's well-kept home. Thank you again for doing this with us, Nidhi.
Most welcome.
Cheers.
Thank you. Virgo woman, 24th August to 23rd September. Do you know that reserved, polite, politically correct and emotionally disciplined Virgo woman? Well, look again. You see, still waters run deep. She appears reserved, but she can be quite a chatterbox. She is polite, but if you hurt her ego, she can sting like a bee. And emotionally disciplined? That's a masquerade. She's as emotional as the next girl, but believes in hiding her emotions. With a hint of lethargy and shades of being a nosy Parker, the Virgo woman's personality has almost all shades of the spectrum. Practical to the extent of being selfish, a Virgo woman is too emotionally restrained, and her lack of emotional expression makes her appear frigid. In the long run, two personality traits completely govern the Virgo woman. The first, emotional detachment. If she does not learn to be expressive at a young age, chances are she would remain emotionally latent all her life. And secondly, given her critical nature, a Virgo woman is in grave danger of turning into a nag as she matures. But overall, the Virgo lady is full of charm, femininity, and good humor. Good at the art of keeping a clean home, a Virgo girl is as homely and conservative as they come. How would you identify a Virgo woman in a crowd? My estimate says that 60% of Virgo women are aggressive and 40% are passive. It is not difficult to identify them in a crowd. Almost all of them like to talk a lot and speak at the speed of lightning. When it comes to fitting maximum words in one breath, a Virgo woman can give Aquarian female a run for her money. I have also noticed that Virgo women like to gossip, and sometimes they seem to mind other people's business more than their own. In comparison to their male counterpart, they are quick at making friends and are usually very social. The aggressive Virgo woman is expressive and is capable of emoting and smiling with her eyes. Her eyes have a distinct quality of catching your attention with the multitude of emotions in there. The passive Virgo woman is extremely warm and friendly and is also very caring about her friends and loved ones. However, I would say about 15% of Virgo women are reserved and introvert. During my interactions with various Virgo women, I realized that they are extremely sharp and very quick on the uptake. Depending on their mood, they can be quite witty and funny too. They seem to have an uncanny way of matching the wavelength and thought process of a man, which makes them more compatible with men. Ergo, Virgo women have a lot of male friends. What are the key features of her personality? A Virgo woman is a strange mix of shyness and boldness. Since she is opinionated and loves to talk, you will find her voicing her thoughts most of the time, but she can simultaneously be reserved and keep to herself. She is the kind of woman who thinks it is better to remain quiet unless she has something startling to say. Relevant or not, whatever she says has to be startling. But once you get her into arguing or discussing, she's verbal express and then there's no stopping her. She's also wary of people. Although appearing friendly and approachable from a distance, she's capable of building a fortress around her and blocking people out. This appears to be a contrast from her usual talkative and chirpy self. Such behavior might lead a man to think she's playing games when actually she's not. You can best describe such behavior as the interplay of lights and shadows, with a Virgo woman exhibiting an entire gamut of emotions at different times. And of course, there are also her mood swings to contend with. Once again, exhibiting traits akin to the male of the Virgo clan, there is a small percentage of Virgo women who like to make the move and call the shots. If you are pursuing a Virgo woman in love, don't overwhelm her with your interest. She knows exactly what she wants, or rather, who she wants, and the less attention you pay to her, the more she is likely to approve of you. A Virgo woman goes through various levels of growing up. With maturity comes self-realization. But no matter how grown up she may act, she can never stop being self-indulgent. Nor can she control her talking sprees. Another prominent quality of hers is her knack of worrying about herself and everybody else in the vicinity. Usually, her worries are exaggerated and needless. In her intricate maze of worrying, she ends up driving herself and other people up the wall. This irritating quality is coupled with another more irritating one, her being repetitive. I have found Virgo women to be unforgiving and at times vengeful. They often fall into the habit of making a mountain out of a molehill. It is difficult to reason with them as during quarrels or disagreements, they don't stick to the core topic and keep jumping one thing to another, and very often irrelevant things. I have observed Virgo women to be low on immunity and prone to falling ill quite often. How is she on the following aspects? Appearance. Having keenly observed Virgo women, I have found that a very small percentage of them almost walk, talk and dress like men, but the majority of them are of course feminine and even ultra-feminine in some cases. However, both kinds have a subtle dressing sense and nothing loud works for them. You will usually find them dressed as occasion demands. They seem to be obsessed with shoes and handbags. Now I know how so many stores survive. Ambition. There is a wide chasm between the ambitious and non-ambitious Virgo women. About 80% of them are ambitious, while the remaining 20% are sheer lazy. Since we are discussing ambition here, I would like to elaborate about the majority. Independent-minded and determined, the average Virgo woman is often seen having a preference for print or television media or the hospitality or airline industry. She is equally detailed and meticulous about her work and home chores. Ego or self-respect? I would say that the Virgo women have more self-respect, 9 on 10, than ego, maybe 7 on 10. Given their ambitiousness, they sometimes tend to be self-centered and even selfish, which makes them appear egoistic too. However, their self-centeredness springs from their desire to achieve their targets. I don't think it is wrong to be self-oriented in order to achieve your set goals in life, provided you don't hurt anyone in the process. Also, you cannot please all the people all the time. It is important for you to be happy in order to make people around you happy. I believe this concept is mastered by most women on this planet, and a Virgo woman is no exception. Responsibility. A Virgo woman is extremely responsible and dependable. Unless you have a casual relationship with her, you will hardly ever find her unresponsive. This actually applies to all the people in her life. Depending upon the kind of relationship she shares with you, her level of responsibility towards you will vary. She has the ability to think ahead and estimate the responsibilities coming her way. Because of this uncanny sense of speculation, she is able to match up easily with what is expected of her. Etiquettes? I would give an 8.5 on 10 to a Virgo woman for etiquettes. She is quite particular about how she behaves in public, and she also demands similar behavior from her partner and even children. She has high standards of social decorum, both for herself and others, and you will have a lot of tightrope walking to do if you want to please her on this front. What is her approach towards life? A Virgo woman can undoubtedly be both realistic and practical, but she is governed by her moods, and the extent of her practicality largely depends on that. She is less emotional and sentimental, but more sensitive. She is also dreamy and idealistic. Although she has a strong opinion about everything, a Virgo woman finds it easier to follow than to lead. This could also be because of fear of failure, in which case she wouldn't want to take responsibility for the task at hand. I think the passive Virgo can remain content with what life has offered her, but the aggressive kind, in her own subtle way, has an endless wish list. She is rarely satisfied with ordinary living and always aspires for a better lifestyle. This is purely my observation that she needs support in everything she does, at work, with emotions, and in almost every walk of life. So, in most cases, she becomes dependent on others for her performance in whatever character she plays in life. How does she score on the following aspects? Cynicism. From amongst all Virgo women, 65% are cynical. Sometimes they can come across like a pre-recorded track where they allow no room for other people to speak or bring in their point of view, rattling away their woes and miseries in a never-ending tirade. And this also happens to be their characteristic weakness. Suspicion or jealousy? When it comes to these green demons, a Virgo woman draws a lot from her male counterpart. Much like a Virgo man, she is suspicious of everybody in her professional circles. She likes to remain on her guard when anyone at work approaches her for anything, even if it is a goodwill gesture. But when it comes to relationships, she is quite complacent and will rarely be suspicious about her partner unless he gives her reasons to be. Being possessive of her accomplishments, she can get jealous of her more successful colleagues or competitors, but this only eggs her into doing better herself. A Virgo woman can also feel pangs of jealousy if her boyfriend or husband shows interest in other women. Dishonesty or infidelity. A Virgo woman is more sincere about her relationships, but she sometimes can get swayed by charm, flattery, and power of other men. This could partly be because she gets bored easily and prefers moving on. If her situation does not permit moving on, she would at least think of some diversions. But she is extremely possessive of her partner and unforgiving by nature, and stepping over the line will not be tolerated. Hardships? Here again, a Virgo woman takes after a Virgo man. She is extremely resilient and can emerge triumphant in times of hardships. With patience and hard work, she is capable of making her way out of difficult times. However, the ups and downs of life can take their toll on her emotions, and she might come across as emotionally weak at times during her days of struggle. But with the right kind of moral support from family and friends, she will find it possible to overcome her difficulties. Success and failure. Success is a private affair. She would prefer being by herself in the glory of her success. But if she goes past the ordinary achievements in life, she will include family and close friends in her celebrations. With failure, she can hit a real low. With her logical turn of mind, she will endlessly go over the nuances of her failure and analyze it from every aspect. In short, she is a poor loser. Host. From culinary to cutlery. This woman wants to oversee everything if she's throwing a party. Nothing misses her detailed eye, and everything at her social do is done with perfection. She is also careful about the likes and dislikes of her guests, especially regarding cuisines, unless you have encountered a young, tomboyish Virgo girl who believes that home delivery and eating out of paper plates rock. Guest? Being a careful and particular host, she expects the same standards of any other hosts. If you have invited a Virgo woman over and plan to be hospitable or please her, make sure everything is in the right place and the dinner table has the best food your cook or you can manage. How does she handle difficult situations? A Virgo woman is not very diplomatic, the passive kind being the exception. Although I may have so far made her sound sensible and practical, which she is, in situations like quarrels, fights, or arguments, she comes across as one possessed. With her ability to talk non-stop, her arguments too seem never-ending. I sometimes wonder if she looks back at unpleasant situations in her life in a calmer state of mind and regrets not having drawn a line at a certain point. Or in other words, shut her mouth when the time was right. Moreover, if she's at fault, she usually ends up blaming circumstances or people involved. Very rarely will you find her giving in and owning up her mistakes. A great percentage of Virgo women are poor listeners and stubborn in their attitude. It is from there that they draw the tenacity of being unbending in their stance. But if she is madly in love and a quarrel with her lover ensues, she will put in all efforts to mend things. During difficult times, it is best to leave her alone and give her time to cool off. There would be no point in arguing with her, as she just won't listen to you. What is her characteristic weakness? That has got to be her unique ability of talking herself into trouble. A Virgo woman's tongue works faster than her brain, which results in endless and often meaningless arguments where she is the chief talker. She, most not all, cannot keep a secret to save her life, and being a habitual gossip monger, she often finds herself in awkward situations with friends and family members. A narrow margin of 20 to 25% of Virgo women can keep secrets. If you ever come across such a Virgo woman, you can confide in her. Apart from that, I would be careful about what I say in a Virgo female's presence. Is there something more to this lady's persona? A Virgo woman is a stickler for punctuality. She cannot tolerate latecomers, and her patience runs low when she is waiting for someone. According to me, she would score a 9 on 10 for punctuality. Although not short-tempered, she can let her lid fly when her expectations are not met with, especially about things she cares. Her ambitious drive is well backed with a hard-working spirit. Given her analytical mind, she knows that nothing can be achieved without sincere efforts. However, when it comes to work or relationship, she is quite conservative in her attitude, and you may have a difficult time to get her to accept new ideas. And now, I would like to bring in another of her prominent characteristics, namely fault finding. About 50% of Virgo women are critical and good at finding faults in others, be it behavior, work, or table manners. As she tends to overanalyze and is meticulous to the core herself, she finds it difficult to accept any shortcomings in others. Another reason for this is her opinionated nature. With a strong opinion about everything, she usually has the last word when analyzing people's faults. However, the remaining 50% of Virgo women refrain from such criticism. They are more carefree, practical, and easygoing. Though they too may find faults in others, they are able to live and let live. But for Virgo women, criticism is a one-way street. They cannot tolerate being criticized. How should one deal effectively with a Virgo woman? As much as a Virgo woman may appear to be clear and straightforward, she is undoubtedly confused in her head. At the risk of being hounded by all the Virgo women reading this, I would like to add that very often a Virgo female may say something, mean something else, and end up doing something totally different. She belongs to that category of women who are described by the character of Professor Higgins in the musical My Fair Lady as. She will beg you for advice. Your reply will be concise. She will listen very nicely and then go out and do exactly what she wants. So before making a deal of any kind with Virgo women, make sure you are clear about what she is saying and meaning. If possible, get it in writing, since they have a memory of convenience, and this is applicable to both Virgo males and females. How does she handle money matters? How a Virgo woman handles money depends on how much money she has. If she is not so successful in life and is living through strained times, she can be conservative in her spending and stress on saving. But if she is monetarily successful or has a good inheritance, she would show a free hand at spending. Notwithstanding this, generally she is good at finances, neither too stingy nor too extravagant. How is she on the professional front? Diligent in her approach with a keen understanding for matters related to finance, the Virgo woman can hold the fort beautifully well when it comes to her professional life. A thinker, she is also a good mediator who readily provides counsel to her peers and subordinates. Owing to her in-depth perception of money and money matters, and also her ability to critically assess situations. Virgo women excel in the fields of finance, banking, marketing, accountancy, and even law enforcement. How is she in various relationship roles? Provided she has had a happy childhood, a Virgo woman can be extremely dependable and responsible as a daughter. She will remain devoted to her parents if she has been properly raised and looked after. As a wife, she will excel in her duties as she takes her responsibilities very seriously. With a Virgo woman for a wife, you will have no complaints about love and devotion. Moreover, she is also an excellent homemaker. Since she likes to be in control, she regards her home as her castle and does everything in her power to protect it. Also, being in charge at home, she gets to do what she pleases. I have also found many Virgo women enjoying housekeeping duties and other related chores like cleaning, cooking, gardening, etc. Being dedicated in every sense of the word, Virgo women prove to be genuine friends. They usually wouldn't have a huge circle of friends, but the ones that they do befriend, they'd hold them very close to their heart. A Virgo woman can be a good mother too. She knows how to befriend her children. While being gentle with them, she also wields an iron hand with them as she is a strict disciplinarian. How is she when alone? Since they have a perpetual need to talk, 80% of Virgo women prefer being in people's company. If not actually, then even virtually would do. A Virgo woman does not like to be idle, and she can take up various activities like yoga, spirituality, or fitness training to fill in her free time. How is she when in love? Before I answer that one, let me tell you what love is for a Virgo woman. There is only one definition of love for her: true, pure, and exclusive. She will not tolerate passing affairs or insincere feelings. Once her heart is set on something, she will move with a determined gait to achieve it. While courting her, you will have to keep a lot of things in mind. Firstly, etiquettes. This lady is a classic nitpicker when it comes to mannerisms and social behavior. She will watch you with a hawk's eye and will be satisfied only if you match up to her rather high standards of decorum. Secondly, underplay. She dislikes loud and brash behavior, especially if it is about love. Public display of love is a big no-no with her. So keep it simple and subtle, and of course, genuine. And throw in plenty of charm, and before long, you will be humming, "The girl is mine." What does she look for in her partner? A perfect gentleman with a strong financial backing, someone who would pledge his unwavering love for her till time eternal. This is one lady who would scrutinize each and every aspect of a man's personality, critically examining every minute detail of his mannerisms and also his financial status before deciding to take the plunge. Pragmatic to the extent of being cold, the Virgo woman wants a man who can provide her emotional support, while at the same time offer her the financial freedom to splurge on materialistic pursuits. Obsessed with what the world thinks about her, she would desire a partner who is presentable and one who knows how to carry himself and make intelligent conversation. While dating her, you should be her friend first. Getting a Virgo woman to date you isn't an easy task. She seems hard to get as she lacks emotional expression. But if you are friends with her, it would be easy to break her self-imposed barricade. A Virgo woman is conservative. She's a straightforward, traditional-minded girl and loves routine. Even if you take her to her favorite restaurant every day, she would be as pleased as Punch. She is a stickler for cleanliness. She likes people and things around her to be neat and tidy. Make sure you are well groomed while dating her. You may not be wearing the clothes that are in vogue, but as long as they are clean and well ironed, she would be impressed. And here's a tip. Don't wear a strong perfume. Virgo girls are sensitive to strong smells. Be careful with your spending. The Virgo girl will appreciate that. She also loves nature, and nothing can win her heart like a serene nature walk. But make sure you have a cozy armchair ready for her at the end of it all. She will welcome your gesture. Her satisfaction will be evident from the glow on her cheeks and the spark in her eyes. The Virgo girl is feminine in every sense, but you won't find her indulging in the usual feminine activities like dressing up and or applying makeup that often. She prefers keeping herself as well as her life, easy and simple. The Virgo woman is ruled by the sign of the Virgin, but don't you be fooled by that. Under all her intensity lies a frail heart. As you enter the second zone of dating, you should get your timing right before making advances. Get her into the right mood and emotional state, and you can easily step into the realm of physical intimacy with her. But if you fail to read her body language and make an untoward move, she will spurn you instantly and recoil into her shell. She is mature enough to know what is coming, so somewhere in her mind she has prepared herself for that, to the extent of expecting a healthy physical relationship before long. While dating her, you would need to impress her totally and win her exclusive loyalty. If you are unable to do so, she is likely to look elsewhere for pleasure. Compatibility quotient. With the emotionally latent Virgo woman, compatibility can mean much more than mere getting along. It could mean interpreting untold feelings and unseen sentiments. It involves understanding her nature and needs as well. Let's find out more. Virgo women and Aries man. 4 on 10. While contrasts may work well on canvas, it is not the case with this combination. The Arian will find the preaching Virgo woman a little hard to deal with, while the dominating trait of the Arian might make her further repress her feelings. Taurus man. 8 on 10. The Virgo girl is as feminine as the Taurian wants his partner to be. Both are well suited on an emotional level too. She will feel very secure in his company, and he would take delight in looking after her womanly needs. Gemini man. 7 on 10. If both learn to adjust, this relationship can work beautifully. The Gemini man must take care not to provoke the green demon in the Virgo girl, while she should limit her criticizing streak, as he won't appreciate it at all. Cancer man. 9 on 10. A perfect romantic combination. The Virgo girl has the tact to draw the Cancerian out of his emotional shell. In return, he would give her the security and affection that she needs in a relationship. Leo man. 6 on 10. This relationship demands too many compromises on both sides. While the homely Virgo woman would keep her kitchen and home sparkling clean, the Leo man would hardly notice it, let alone appreciate her effort. On the other hand, known for his love for compliments, he won't take criticism from her sportingly. Virgo man. 5 on 10. This relationship can go completely right or completely wrong. With both Virgos being overly practical, there are chances of monotony setting in. Moreover, both can get too demanding of each other's attention. Libra man. 4 on 10. Not a very promising combination. The Libra man's indecisive nature might make her go crazy while the Virgo woman's constant fault-finding and pessimism can frustrate him to the extreme. Scorpio man, 8 on 10. The Scorpio man's emotional quotient can be well balanced with the Virgo's pragmatism. He will be enthralled with her femininity, while she will be impressed with his ability to take the lead. Sagittarius man, 4 on 10. Both are worlds apart. The Sagittarian is outgoing, adventurous and quite untamed, while the Virgo girl is homely and serious. Each may not be able to answer the other's need for companionship. He would get bored of a predictable way of living, while she would find his adventurous enterprise too much to digest. Capricorn man, 8 on 10. With effective communication, this relationship can go places. The Virgo woman would have to rein her critical nature and possessiveness, while he would have to control his flirtatious endeavors. But overall, both are compatible to a great extent. Aquarius man, 6 on 10. After the initial attraction, both find it difficult to manage this relationship. The vivacious Aquarian will be bored of the sedate Virgo girl. To make this relationship work, both will have to learn to count their blessings instead of finding faults with each other. Pisces man, 6 on 10. Both have different yet not necessarily conflicting traits. This relationship can work if they make efforts to understand each other. Famous Virgo women personalities: Asha Bhosle, Claudia Schiffer, Kareena Kapoor, Cameron Diaz, Gloria Estefan, Salma Hayek.